of your faith is producing something in your life. The situation you wish to do away with, the thing that you pray God would allow you to escape, the thing you wish you could shove off, it's doing something for your good. So if you're going to do something, count it all joy. Count it all joy. When the Jewish audience would have heard this phrase, the testing of your faith, they would have immediately known what he was referring to. This testing, it was a common practice that was used by silversmiths of the day. It was the process that they used for taking impurities out of the silver that they would work with. They would take that hard metal and they would heat it up in a furnace until it was molten hot. And at the point where it was liquid, he could go and he could begin to scrape off everything that wasn't supposed to be there. All the imperfections and impurities, he could get them out of the way. The silversmith would then let the silver harden again, and he would test it to see if it was pure. If it was not completely pure, he would subject it to the heat yet again, and he would scrape off more imperfections and more impurities and more things that just weren't supposed to be there. And the point at which the silversmith knew that the job had been accomplished and the work had been done, that the process had yielded, the silversmith could look into that metal and he could see his very reflection looking back at him. Could it be that James is writing to a persecuted church and is trying to tell him, I understand that you've been in the middle of the fight. I know you've been going through the trial of your life. I know you feel isolated and ostracized and persecuted. But when you consider that trial, the testing of your faith, your master is trying to subject you to a little bit of heat, that in the process of purification, he's going to begin to scrape some things off that aren't supposed to be there, so that when he looks at your life, he sees the end goal of the Christian life is, I can see my reflection in them. I can see my reflection in them. They are becoming more and more like me. So James tells them in verse 4, let patience have its work, let endurance have its work, that you may be perfect, that you may be full grown and mature in virtue and integrity and complete, lacking nothing. This morning I feel like the Lord has asked me just to share maybe a different perspective about the season that somebody has been living in. I'm not negating the pain. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt. I'm not saying that it hasn't been hard. I'm simply here on a Sunday morning to try to get somebody to step back from the situation long enough to have a little bit of a different perspective. That could it be that God is allowing me to endure some hardship now because he is trying to